We continue the conversation, 1 to 10 scale, so same basis here. We switch to the ground game. Chuck, we welcome you back in this segment.
Thank you.
We'll open it up with you. 1 to 10 scale, where are you on Tennessee's rushing attack? So they have to replace Dylan Sampson.
Yes.
But they're going to do that with probably more guys as a committee, would be my guess.
Which we've heard that before.
Yeah,
right?
than we saw last year with the role that Dylan played. And then it is a new look offensive line as well.
Yeah.
By the way, the quarterback position, we can get to that and how it factors into the ground game. But what do you think? 1 to 10 scale with the rushing attack for Tennessee.
Well, part of this is I would have confidence in Josh Heupel and his running offense being able to figure things out and to make this part better than some of our other grades have been. Okay? I look at this and is Peyton Lewis going to be able to stay healthy? I think he is a dynamic back. I think he can do a lot of things. Deshaun Bishop, I think, is probably the closest to what you've had before in times what he can bring. How much does Star Thomas emerge for being able to get some carries? So what I feel in my confidence in this offense, I'm going to give it a 7.5.
7.5.
I would give it a little bit more just based on the history of what Josh Heupel does, but I think you've got some questions about the offensive line, too.
By the way, guys, is this Cavalier saying 7 or 8? Which
that is, yes.
You're decimaling my decimal at the end of the segment.
I'm going to say 7, so do you want to ride with me on that one? That's your call.
I'm riding with you, pal.
All right, then we'll
always
say
ride
7.
with Hopkins.
Yeah, I would say, here's my thing, and Chuck even started it there. I think if you told me right now in a pecking order, I think at the end of the season when you look at carries and rushing yards, Deshaun Bishop 1, Star Thomas 2, Peyton Lewis 3, because I have concerns about Peyton staying healthy as well. Star Thomas, when you look a little bit inside of his numbers last year at Duke, and a lot of people have pointed this out, against better competition, less numbers. Now, if you look back at that competition, Duke was having to play from behind in a lot of those high-risk games, so Star wasn't getting as many carries as he should against lesser competition. I think because of what you were able to do to get in a reliable number 2 like Star Thomas, just in case injuries or whatever the situation might be for Peyton Lewis fails them, I expect the Carnes product, Deshaun Bishop, to take a massive step in that direction, much like we saw 2 years ago with Small and the rest of the camp. So I'd say it's 7.
Hey, look, I'm at 7 too, but I'm opposite of those guys. I think that Star Thomas is going to be your starting running back. I don't know if Deshaun Bishop's. I need to see him with a volume of carries be good enough at this level. I think he clearly good enough to play as a number 2 back, maybe as a mid-major back. And I know he's a local guy. I'm not trying to rip the local guy, but I just need to see that, and I've watched Star Thomas at a power conference level get it done on a team for what he did with Manny Diaz. So I think it'll be Star Thomas 1. I think it'll be Bishop 2, Peyton Lewis maybe 3, and a lot of it may come down to who does what in pass protection, because that was such a massive problem for Tennessee last year, especially if they don't go tempo on offense. You're going to need a running back who can block.
Well, I still think if you're looking, I think you may be looking at more at the running back by committee.
Probably.
I don't know if he's actually going to be. Heupel is very big on who has the hot hand, who does not fumble. And that was a little bit of a problem last year. So, in looking at this, I'm not as high on Star Thomas just yet because he hadn't done it in the SEC. At least we've seen some of what Deshaun Bishop can do at times. But I still think the big key is these guys staying healthy in a running offense when a lot of times you're slamming it off tackle and you're taking some pretty big hits in there.
So I'm going to go 8. I'm slightly above you guys, and that is a Josh Heupel vote as much as personnel vote. We've just seen the offense, as soon as he arrived, took off running, and it's continued to do that. And I don't expect any one player to have a Dylan Sampson season. I'm not even sure they wanted Dylan Sampson to have that kind of season. He had to do it, and boy, did he. And then as the course of the season goes, maybe DeJuan Morris. I'm never confident in a freshman right away, but if they deal with some of these injury concerns that are there in October, November, maybe he's somebody that they trust as well. So that, and then Joey Aguilar, I do think he'll be involved if he's a starting quarterback. I think he's a guy that he's going to have to use his legs.
So 7, 7, and an 8, is that a 7.5?
It's pushing there. If you're looking for the optimism of the segment, we'll get you there.